This morning. I know you talked after the Vanderbilt game about using the SEC tournament just to continue to improve and get better. But I was wondering the fact you guys didn't pick up win number 20. It looks like you're going to be in the NCAA tournament. Does that take any pressure at all off you guys about having to win in this thing coming up this week?
No, not at all. Nothing has changed for us, Dash. Again, every practice, every game, mid majors, non-conference, conference games, it's about being our best and striving for growth. Had a good practice yesterday. In fact, the message yesterday was today. That's it. Showed them. We showed our guys a video. In fact, yesterday of a speech by John Wooden years ago talking about today. And today, that was yesterday. Today's about today. Um, so we've had good momentum because we've continued to improve in a lot of areas, playing our best basketball, having won four in a row, and we want that to continue. So we take nothing for granted. Um, the exterior noise has nothing to do with how we operate. Oklahoma is a really good team. It's a great opportunity for us.
Hey, Mike, I'm not sure if you can hear me. I got an internet unstable message here at Butts-Mehre, but I wanted to ask you,
I got you, Mark.
okay. Oklahoma beat Missouri, beat Texas. What are you seeing from them lately that has you, kind of looking closely at the scouting report? And do you think they may be more desperate given their tournament position?
They're playing really well. They're playing better than when we played earlier. We are too. They're playing a little bit differently. Fears is in an unbelievable rhythm, and so is Silas. It's funny that coincidentally both point guards are playing, um, in a different gear than they were a couple months ago. They had to play smaller. They've played small at times in the past, of course, but out of necessity, of course, with missing their big kid here as of late, and they're playing really well. I mean, they space you. Um, they've got versatile guys. They can touch paint at multiple positions, driving it, kicking it. They're a good passing team overall. They can really drive you. They can really score in transition. They're one of the fastest teams in our league, downhill in space. And defensively, they're going to get after you, and they're going to be prepared. They're playing well. They're an NCAA tournament team, in my opinion.
Yeah, I just want to ask you quickly about a couple players that aren't playing now, but just how they're coming along on the practice floor, Sabo and Jordan Key.
Doing well, really well. They've gotten better throughout the year. They're both good culture guys, good people. Love having them around. And the challenge to those guys and a couple other guys that I would put in that category is to just stay ready and continue to improve daily.
We'll go to Jordan and then to Maria Martin.
Yeah, Mike, looking at the SEC tournament, how valuable do you think it is having veterans like RJ, like Tyron, who have played in conference tournaments before and sort of understand what it's going to be like?
Yeah, um, we're not exactly an experienced team, and we don't have a ton of winning experience as we've talked about, but RJ provides that for sure. We've tried not to make the stage bigger than it is. It's a neutral site game. There will be added excitement, of course. We do embrace the fact that it is the tournament. It's the conference tournament of the best conference in the history of college basketball. That said, when it's tipped, it's a neutral site game, against a really good team, and we've been there before. Um, any added experience, we'll take it. And at the end of the day, we're trying to gain more and more of that experience, and obviously, we hope to gain more winning experience in this program.
Hey, Mike, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yep.
So going back to the John Wooden speech that you guys decided to play yesterday, whose idea was that and how was it received?
That was my idea. We do something. We try to be creative every Monday, and show our guys something that's coming from a different outlet, a different resource other than our staff. They hear from us a lot, and we just happened to stumble upon that one. Probably late last week, maybe early weekend, where I thought that might resonate with all of the noise going on. um, just circling back to the first couple questions, the obvious, what the big picture stuff, the postseason stuff, with all that stuff going on, and our young people hearing about it probably nonstop. I wanted to send our guys and just simply talk about today, and that's what's gotten us to this point. That's what's got us to 20 wins with the big wins that we've had. That's what's got us playing well late in the season, is just focusing on what we can control, focusing on today's effort, being focused, in general, where our feet are. And our guys, I'm not even sure that they needed it. We had a good one yesterday. We might have had one anyway, but it was a swing by me regardless.
And then you've talked so much throughout the year just about how tough SEC play has been. Heading into the tournament, what do you feel like your guys have done well in SEC play that you want them to kind of resonate in Nashville?
Yeah, same deal. Just be incredibly resilient, respond to adversities throughout the game. It's coming. Oklahoma's really good. We have to play really well. We know that. Being in the moment, that's it. One round at a time, one possession at a time, trying to get great shots, trying to get stops, while focusing overall on the fact that our biggest deficiency at times has been our live ball turnovers, our offensive steal percentage. We've got to continue to focus on that area, and defensively, we've got to defend the glass, and the attention to detail, the focus with regard to the scouting report with their personnel. They've got very different pieces. Has all got to be on point, and I expect it to be. I expect us to play well, and we'll see where that leads us.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Go to Jack Leo and then Victor Prieto.
Hey, Mike, I remember you talking kind of at the top about this about keeping that intensity high. It's the same kind of week as it's always been, not letting off the gas. I know that Silas is a really vocal leader for y'all. What has it looked like for him this week specifically out there on the court, just as you're keeping that intensity up?
Same deal with Silas. He's been great and ultra consistent, playing as well as just about any guard in our league. He's growing every day. He's grown as a player, of course, made a big jump statistically, with usage, with confidence, all those things that we all see that, but he's also made a big jump with putting his stamp on this team and on this program, with regard to being an extension of us. He's growing and growing in that area. Was vocal yesterday, as expected. He'll continue to be that today. And I expect him to finish the season really strong.
Question
Hey,
from
Coach,
Victor.
you hear me?
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Sorry. Internet's a little spotty. Yeah, it's a big week for you guys in terms of, everything like that and what it means for the tournament. Just overall, what's your goal going into this one, and what do you hope to get out of it?
To play really well, to have a great practice today, to play really well tomorrow. Tomorrow night late, against a good Oklahoma team, to get off to a good start. Our biggest focus in the pregame conversation in the locker room will be to play well in that first 4-minute segment. Get to the first media timeout where we feel good about our intensity and our focus.
And we'll wrap up with Hank Tatum.
Coach, you talked about Jeremiah Fierce earlier. In the first matchup, you were able to conceal him. What allowed you to succeed in that first matchup? And then going into tomorrow night, has the game plan changed at all for him?
He's a freshman, like all freshmen in our league, that's had some pedestrian games, and because of his talent, he's also had some big time games, and he's having more of them as of late. He's grown, in his production throughout this season. A lot of freshmen get better throughout the year. Some freshmen hit a wall. He's playing at a really high rate right now, playing with a lot of confidence, making shots, getting downhill, drawing fouls. He's just playing better. He was playing really well then. He's playing at another level now. And so we did a pretty good job. It's going to take a better effort from our entire team in a bunch of different areas, in ball screen coverage and in transition defense and isolation defense. He's a really good player, but they've got other really good players as well. And they've got some actions too, like all of these teams in this league that are tough to defend.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
Hey,
Appreciate it. Guys, I'll go get the players. Be right
hop
back.
in here with one, if you don't mind?
Sure. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Awesome. All good. Sorry about that. Hey, Coach, I just want to ask, there's a lot of debate over, whether it's easier or harder to get into a rhythm in a tournament setting like this, given it's, maximum of 5 games in 5 days if you advance that far. But I know the focus will have to be on one game at a time, but how are you guys trying to maybe prepare for physically and mentally for maybe playing games on multiple days in a row?
But we're not. We're not. This is every one of these games is the Super Bowl. Buffalo at home was the Super Bowl for us. Yesterday's practice was. It's about Oklahoma. That's it. I think you can fall into a rhythm if you find success on a court and you play on that court the day after or a couple days after, but we can't worry about any of that. We've got our hands full with Oklahoma.
All right. Thanks, Mike.